Here is my short video about my learning philosophy. I actually found that my learning philosophy stayed roughly the same, but it expanded. So each point is more expanded than I had it the first time. So the 3 points that I kind of focused on for my first learning philosophy was Maslow's hierarchy, brain chemistry, and motivation. So I first think that Maslow's hierarchy is very important. I think all the pieces kind of line up in order to get to the last one, which is self-actualization. But the realization that I made, um, looking back on my blogs and my comments, was that social interaction will play a huge part in the belonging and the esteem portion, and technology can be a great aid to getting one to feel like they belong. And then when they finally belong, having that self esteem that goes along with it. So that's the expansion that I've made to my learning philosophy about Maslow's hierarchy. The next one was brain chemistry, and wholeheartedly believe that um, brain chemistry has so much to deal with learning because we are learning in our brains, not in our hearts. That doesn't make any sense. But like the gamification part that we talked about in this class really feeds into dopamine. And dopamine is one of the chemicals in the brain that will bring you joy. And when you're playing a game, dopamine is released. And so playing games like Kahoot or having any kind of little game in your classroom is instantly going to raise dopamine levels, which is going to make your children slash learners, who, however old they are, happier and more intrigued with what you're doing. And then the last piece was motivation. And motivation on my first reflection was more about like believing in oneself, but I had to stop and think and be like, how did motivation change? And motivation changed with the involvement of social interactions, and social interactions that are through technology. I mean, why even do I have motivation to do this class? I have it partly because I know it's going to be graded, but more so, I've read my team's blogs. I have to post in Slack, and I have to make sure that my comments are appropriate and people are going to read them and comment about them. So that social interaction plays in with the motivation that I have to do well and to learn as much as I can. Which is an interesting piece that I didn't realize went with motivation. So that's my hopefully short reflection. If you want to watch this on double speed, you can.